minding my black ass business and buying a giant bag of Haribo's like a responsible adult. And I looked up and saw the price of baby formula behind the counter. Is everyone okay? Something's got to give. We've either got to make birth control more accessible and less stigmatized. Abortion care has to be free, safe, and legal and readily available to people. And or we need to lower these prices. Y'all are out here having multiple kids, paying that to feed them. My God, on today. And those of you doing it by yourselves, baby, something's got to give. I'm shook. Like, I know that babies are expensive, but Jesus Christ. Even the store brand, nope, nope. Not in this economy and not by myself. Nope.
I don't know how people have kids and more than one at that these days. In this economy, I'm currently at the vet. I have a Frenchie. Every time I leave here, every time, I'm paying no less than $500. And you trying to tell me to have kids times 2, 3, 4 in this economy? There's no way. The ones that do have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, what type of job y'all got? And yes, before you say there's dog insurance, yes. But the thing about those dog insurance, they're tricky. This is a pre-existing condition, so it doesn't apply to your insurance. They know what they're doing. I love my dog, but I really don't know how people are doing it with human kids.
I know you girls probably miss me, but I've been just really grouchy lately and overwhelmed and burnt out, and I'm currently sitting in a parking lot by myself in my car eating a 100-gram bar. Like, that's how I'm doing mentally currently. We got the house we put an offer on, so now we're pending, and I don't think I was prepared for the fact that it wouldn't feel exciting. Buying a house, and this is not our first time buying a house, buying a house is one of the most stressful things I think I've ever done. I don't feel excited. I'm excited at the thought of having a home and being able to like make a house a home again and to have our own space. This has been wildly stressful, and it still feels wildly stressful. And buying a house is one of the biggest financial decisions, and it feels like the wrong decision, but then to rent doesn't feel right either. Like, being an adult is so crazy expensive right now. It's so overwhelming. I don't know how people are doing it. I don't know how we're doing it and affording groceries and affording to like make memories with our kids. If you ask me, and nobody did, but I need to vent for a second because I don't do therapy. I should, but this is talk therapy for me. If you ask me, that's why we're allowing our kids to be on screen so much. Because we can't afford to leave the fucking house. Do you know how expensive it is? Every time we leave the house with our kids, $100. $100. Between gas, food, and whatever it is that we're going to do, at least $100. Probably closer to 2 or 3, if I'm being honest. So I really don't want to hear from older generations anymore shit about raising kids because they have no fucking idea. Sorry, I'm getting heated. Anyways, that's my life. That's what I've been up to. Love you, bye.
When you see childbirth firsthand, I feel like that will definitely change your views on having a child. It's just not for everybody. The way that women have to literally almost die to bring forth life is amazing, and it's not for everybody. It's not for me. The day that I had to see my niece get born and seen it firsthand, help cut the umbilical cord and everything. It's not. And the way women just be doing it and giving forth life for any old body, nah. I feel like that's just something so special and so rare and so unique and a thing that every woman can't even do, that's precious, and it don't belong to everybody. That gift does not belong to every man. I don't give a fuck. And it just ain't for me.
We need people to have more children. Our population is not growing as quickly as we need for the future. Oh, more kids? Yeah, okay. I've always wanted kids. Great. I get some time off, right, to care for them. You will get 6 weeks maternity leave. That probably will be paid. After that, you will not get paid. Oh, only 6 weeks? Okay, I guess I can put my kid in daycare. That's pretty affordable, right? Daycare could typically cost half your salary, potentially the entire salary, depending on your income. Okay, I mean, I guess I could just be a stay-at-home mom then. Excellent idea. Okay, so if I'm staying at home, that cuts a complete other salary out of our budget. I guess the prices of baby things are pretty affordable. Well, you can just breastfeed. That'll cut the price of formula. Okay, what if I'm unable to breastfeed? Formula costs anywhere between $40 to $80, and it may or may not be in stock. Do I get any support after having a baby? Typically follow up once with your doctor. They'll ask you a couple depression questions, and if you clear that, you're good to go. Okay.
So there's a creator on here that has said, if you're still deciding to have kids during this economy, then you're just being willfully ignorant. And from someone who does not have kids, does not want kids, Rich Auntie vibes. I can see where she's coming from, but at the end of the day, there is never a perfect time to have children. There's always going to be something in the economy that's going to be messing up. There's always going to be something in society. There's always going to be something. I mean, yes, are there better times for you personally to have children? Yes, but for people who are still having kids in this economy, I mean, who knows if someone will have a child who will one day grow up and will help contribute to fix this economy. You know, if we all stop having kids right now while the economy sucks and the presidential, all that sucks, then we can't build up to anything better. We got to birth the people who are going to make change. I mean, so, that's just my take on it.
Why would I have kids right now? Why would anyone in the United States, I'd argue the world, but specifically the United States, have children right now? I'm 30, about to be 33 years old. From a young age, I think I noticed the patterns, but I just have always been like, unless I am rich to the point I don't really have to work, I'm not going to have kids, because then I can't give them the time, the energy, the love that it takes to, properly raise a child. And every single day that I wake up now, there's something new that's going to severely negatively affect every kid that exists right now, every kid that's going to exist for the next 50 to 100 years, negatively, I'll say again. And I have friends who are having kids right now or pregnant, and I'm looking at them just like, one, how are you going to afford it? Two, how are you going to protect them when they're running around with all of these little unvaccinated weasels? Three, gun violence is running rampant. I would be fucking terrified to send my kid to school every day. And then four, just like the world is burning alive. Like, nature is gonna destroy us if all of those other things I just mentioned don't before then. Like, the oceans are rising. We're having historic weather events on the regular now. We, under this current administration, don't even really know when or how bad they'll be when these storms hit. There's not going to be a climate for your kids to, inherit. There's not going to be houses for them to buy. Like, the US dollar is going to be in shambles. Good luck, I guess. Good luck. Getting them into a good school, making sure they don't get sick, making sure they don't get shot, making sure that their world isn't either being blown away by a hurricane or, destroyed by an earthquake. Sorry to be so negative, but it's silly, dude.
Bro, I be thinking about, how much people are struggling right now, financially. And then I think about people who have kids. It's people out here who's single with no kids that's struggling. But then you got people out here who have multiple kids, 2-3 kids. How are y'all making it? Because you got to take care of 2-3 kids. You got to take care of yourself. if you got a wife or something like that, or a husband, like, they got to be doing something as well. It's like, how y'all making it for real? And then another thing too is like with the kids and stuff, like, they don't know what's going on. They expecting you to have it. Like, they expecting to have food, clothes, and stuff like that. Like, they expecting this every day from you. And especially when it's like young kids, like kids that's like in elementary school and stuff like that, like that's in younger. Like, those kids are expensive. So I'm trying to figure out like how people with multiple kids like still like surviving and without an issue, like in the way the economy is now, like how y'all still surviving?
Y'all just be having kids, and I'll be like, what? Like, when somebody says they're pregnant, I'm like, what? Like, for real? What you gonna do? And when people be like, I'm gonna have it, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you really, yeah, you wild. I don't know if it's a task that I want to take on. You're putting a whole human being on this earth, and that comes with a lot of responsibility. This person that you decided to add to our existence, you're in charge of shaping the first 18, 20 years of their life, right? So your performance will have an impact on society.
I'm literally scared, dog. I went out to dinner with the family last night. The meal was $113, right? No drinks, no fancy foo-foo shit, just regular meals. My son is 4 years old, my daughter is 3. My son turns 5 in October. My daughter is literally almost as tall as my son. My son weighs 50 pounds at 4 years old, and they're already hitting me over the head for $113 meals. What the fuck is it gonna look like when they get to middle school and high school and start hitting puberty? God damn, I'm finna get...
I also want 10 kids, so what are you talking about?
10?
Yeah.
You just have one right now, so your coochie have a lot to do. Your coochie have a lot to do. What makes you want such a big family?
I came from a big family.
Okay.
My dad's from I think somewhere between 10 to 13.
Yeah.
Sources are yet to confirm.
Yeah.
And then my mom has her sisters and her brothers, and when I go back to Gambia, there's not one household of mine that is not loud. I'm one of 5.
Damn.
And one of 5 in London.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I can't. Quiet households? No, not for me.
No, absolutely not. You know what? We had very different upbringings, child, because I was an only child for most of my life.
See, I was an only child for 5 years.
Yeah, I was an only child for 15 years. Yeah. I was literally entering sixth form before one of my parents had another baby. Yeah.
I would have told you to put the baby back. What are you doing? That's your grandkid now.
Listen.
Also, let's think about this, because when I was younger, I thought at 26, when I was young, probably 13, 14, I'm like, oh, by 26, I'm going to be with the person I'm going to marry, and I'm going to be in love, and all of that, and
or
have
stupid,
kids by 30 and dumb.
Oh, I told myself that to be this is so dumb, but when I was little, I would be okay, by 28, I will start trying for a baby, because that's really old to be a mom.
See, that's what I'm saying.
28.
That's what I'm saying.
We're 2 years from being 28, and I'm okay, first of all, I watch cartoons on the regular for joy. Okay. Second of all, I don't feed myself half the time because I forget or I run out of money. Third, when I do feed myself half the time, it's not good.